morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Renew Podcast. I am your host, Kristen Andre, and as always, we are here to help you reclaim your life without losing your edge. And today we are talking about everyone's favorite topic, one of the hottest topics, especially this week, social media. And with me today, live in the studio, I have Miss Laura Diston, who begrudgingly agreed to guest host with me this morning on the podcast.
I'm reluctantly happy
to be here. So Laura is not on, she's the human cheerleader. Laura manages people, she manages social media, she manages marketing strategy, not only for the Andre Group, but she also manages me, which is not the easiest thing to do. So we're hoping she doesn't disclose too much about how difficult that task is, but she and I have been chatting about social and about how to make, what we need to do with it. Because I think everybody's on social media by this point, but not everybody's doing it right.
Right. Well, social media is a big deal today, right?
Yes.
Because gone are the days of opening a business and putting your sandwich board out on Main Street and waiting for people to walk by, right?
I don't even think the younger people know what the sandwich boards are.
Probably not.
Or
even being in the yellow pages if we're going way
Well, that's
back,
true. If we're
right?
going definitely old school.
List your business name in the yellow pages and hope people will come. Those days are gone with the advent of the internet.
Yep.
And then, of course, all of these social media platforms.
But so you don't have a choice whether or not to do social. It's just how well you do it, right?
Well, I mean, you could not do social media, but then you're limited to your geographic area, literally, who can walk by and see your business.
So I think it's a huge opportunity for people.
It is a huge opportunity for people. And there's a lot of noise now in the world with the internet and all of these social media apps. And if you really want to be known and get your business out there, you have to join in. You cannot be apologetic about who you are and what you do. You have to put yourself out there on social media platforms. And let's talk about what those are. And my favorite is Instagram.
You do love Instagram. I like Instagram too because I'm visual.
I know.
So I do enjoy Instagram.
A lot of the younger generation would say Instagram is old and done, but I still think it's very relevant and has become a calling card. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute.
I think that because one of the things I love about Instagram is, maybe it's just me, but I find it to be more positive. It could just be the algorithms and who I'm following, but there's not as much of the bitching and complaining and negativity on Instagram that you see on Twitter and Facebook. I use them all, but when I say I use them all, I mean Laura uses them all for me. But I like Instagram.
Yeah,
I get that.
I like Instagram too, but let's talk about the different types of social media.
Okay.
For our business people that are out there.
So that's what we're talking about today is the business use of it. And you're going to get into
the business
personal.
use of it, yes, not the personal use of it. We're talking about it from a business perspective and why you should be using them.
So what are the big ones out there right now?
So Facebook is, I like donuts. It's like a status, right? Like a statement. Instagram is, here's a photo of my donut. Okay. Twitter is, I'm eating a incredible hashtag donut.
Okay. I'm with you.
Snapchat is a short video about your donut.
that could easily, I'm sorry.
Yeah. YouTube is I'm watching.
I don't want to see a short video of anyone's donut.
Made, and I'm watching a recipe about how to make donuts. Reddit is let's discuss our love of donuts.
See, I didn't even think of Reddit as social media, but it is because so many people. It's
more of a forum, a discussion forum, social media platform. LinkedIn is my skills include eating donuts.
That's funny because I bet that's on somebody's resume.
Probably.
It
that
really
would
is.
actually be an eye-catching statement.
I like that. I actually would probably interview that person.
in your professional skills up at the top. I enjoy eating donuts. Yeah. And TikTok is I dance and sing with my donut.
Okay. That's a really good description. I like that.
Yeah.
See, this is why she's the marketing person here.
There you go. So those are the differences.
Okay.
But my take on the platforms are Facebook is here's pictures of my kids and connecting with the guy you went to school with in, 8th grade.
Some of y'all need to not be connected with the guy you went to school with in 8th grade.
Well, this is true. This is very true. Yes, very true. But Instagram, to me, which is my personal favorite, is some would say, here's an inspirational photo.
Okay.
But I think Instagram has become more of a calling card: who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. It has become a place where people connect. In fact, I just had a conversation with a gentleman a couple weeks ago, and at the end of the conversation, we used to pass out business cards, right?
Yep.
It became, oh, do you have Instagram? Let's connect on Instagram.
I think that's becoming more popular because I met a group of ladies last week. I was at an event, and when I was talking with them, that was everybody said, "Do you have a card?" I don't carry business cards. I have a QR code on my phone. They can scan and connect with me on all my socials.
Yes.
But the first one they asked about was Instagram,
Yeah.
and it was a group of women. Does it skew more women? Because that's what we were all doing, was exchanging Instagram handles.
It's both ways.
Okay.
It's both ways, but it has definitely become a place to share your voice and to connect with people.
Okay.
And again, I want to make this very clear to all of the businesses out there. You cannot be apologetic about who you are and what you do. And you need to put yourself, there's so much noise. If you want to be known, you have to have social media, and especially an Instagram account.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that goes to, I love being authentic, being yourself, and not being anybody different. But that, I think, speaks to going to, or using your voice.
Yes.
And really being who you are and not dry and bland. Because I think the people, at least for me, the people I follow are ones that I get excited and I can get, and I just feel like I know them as a person.
That's right. Yeah.
That's hard to do, though. I don't think it's hard to be yourself, but how do you translate that?
Well, that's
on
my
social?
first rule, is to determine your voice.
Yes.
Is to determine why people should want to visit you, and know exactly what you're portraying and what you are trying to tell them. So it's not just about, this is the beautiful plate I make.
Right.
It's, why did you start the business?
Right.
It's so here, let's go back. My rules are to determine your voice.
Yes.
Never mingle personal and business, which we'll come back to.
We're going to go back to that because I got in trouble for that.
Tell your story and your why.
Okay.
Okay. And post consistently. Now that doesn't matter where.
Those are great rules.
Yes, those are my tried and true rules. Now let's discuss those. So determining your voice is, when people visit, they should know exactly what you are and what you're portraying and what you're trying to tell them. That is your voice. Now that is sort of the pattern of your posts and what you're saying by the photos you're sharing, the little snippets of the stories you're telling, and overall what you want your message to be. It's your brand voice.
Does that go to verbiage and everything? Because I know when we first started working together, that was one of the first things you said. You weren't even going to post anything until you learned my voice.
That's right.
Because I think so many times I'll see people that have other folks manage their social, or that are posting, and I can tell, I can tell, I'm like, they didn't say that. That didn't sound at all like them.
Right.
So I think voices also has to do with what you sound like.
Well, yeah, because it's not what you do. It's
who you are.
Are you, and what message do you want people to hear from you?
Right.
That is your
sass
voice,
and sarcasm.
Your social media voice.
Right.
Right.
But I think that's true, because for me, I tend to be a little bit sarcastic, and I'm not formal. The way I always tell people, the way I write is the way I speak, is the way I'm going to have a conversation with you if we meet in person.
Right.
But that has to come across on social. Is that part of the voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Do people screw that up? Because I think people screw that up sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like that is the first thing you should determine, even today. Let's say you didn't know what that was until you heard this term about determining your voice. You can change that now and kind of go, well, what have I really been trying to do all along?
Right.
It's about kind of like clearing the clutter and refocusing what you want people to know about who you are. Okay. So then let's go to my second rule, which is never mingle personal and business. Now,
this is where Kristen got in trouble.
I did get you in trouble for that. Now, we do that, right, in office settings. You should never mingle business and personal together. Now, that is the same for social media, especially for Instagram and more professional social media posts. Facebook is another animal. Facebook I feel is more for personal, but when it comes to Instagram, you should not be posting your weekend cocktail hour with your girlfriends if
Yes,
you're a
I
business
know.
coach, right?
So let's just talk about who you're talking about here, because that was one of the things you told me. Because I'm like,
talking about?
I have some good cocktail hours.
I
Wine is part
understand.
of my thing. I originally had loving wine in my bio, and it was removed. But I think I get what you're saying. So I had the remedy for that for me
Right.
was I was instructed to have and I do. I have a personal. Let's talk about Instagram and Facebook.
Sure.
I have Twitter's both, but for Instagram and Facebook, I have a personal and I have a business. On
Right.
Instagram, my personal is private.
Yes. Now.
I only accept requests from people I physically know.
Correct. That's
Where I post my cocktail
MO.
hours and my personal
Yes.
stuff and kids and relationships. That's there. Precisely.
That's right.
It's on lockdown.
Yes, I like that now. Yeah.
Okay.
And then.
So why is that though? Because because my first thought was, well, don't people want to get to know me personally? Don't they want to know who I am? So that was, I get what you're saying, but like for everybody listening, why do we need to do that? Why is it important? Because I very much like to blend, my friends or, my friends are clients and clients are friends, and it all weaves together. So what's the importance of keeping it separate?
Because social media is sort of like it's like your storefront now. Imagine if, let's say, Andre Group has a business location. Okay. Now, and you're trying to attract clients for your business. Okay. But you're not also going to have them come visit when you're having cocktail hour with your girlfriends, are you?
Yeah,
in your business location. So
I'm just saying, we typically have cocktails at Bit. No, I'm just playing.
Right, but
I see what you're saying. So it's differentiating the brand from the person.
Correct.
Is really what you're getting at.
Yes. So that's exactly why you should differentiate and not mingle your personal and your business.
Okay.
You're differentiating your storefront from your personal life.
And you can have people, because the people that follow me on my personal account also follow my business.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yep.
Your followers don't matter.
Right.
It's just the messages.
So the personal page is your friends, your circle, your people.
Friends, your circle, your people.
Okay.
That's right. Not your week, you don't want to put your weekend plans on your business.
Miriam just said that is so hard to do, and I agree, because Miriam is one of my personal friends
Is
that I
she?
do cocktail hours
Nice.
with. And so we have posted a lot, and she, has a business, and her husband has a business, and it's so hard because, we want to post those things,
Right.
and then we have friends like, it's Miriam. I know you have a lot of friends that are, very public, and as do I, and it's like, so it's hard to figure out where to draw the line, because sometimes you're like, oh, this was good, and I really want to promote this person, and I want to do, so that's hard. So on business. Are we just promoting business? Because I like to promote other businesses.
Well,
I like
to promote my friends. It depends on
friends.
what your business is, right? If your business is wine, right?
Yes.
Let's say, or cocktail glasses, or whatever it. And
if
then
Andre Group
okay.
starts a wine line, may I post?
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
We found a workaround, Miriam.
Cross the streams, so to speak.
Okay.
Yes.
But I think that's what it is. So really, the business pages. So for everyone listening that was focused on social media for your business, everything that you post needs to be related to your business, your offerings, your audience.
And your voice, right?
And your voice.
Yep, and what you want them to continue coming back for.
Miriam says she's learned it. We're taking notes, girl.
There you go.
We've got it. Okay.
Yes. So let's move on to the next rule.
All right.
Which is tell your story and your why.
Yes.
Okay. So I can post all day long about the products that I have, and people will come, but they will stay for your why. So what I mean,
1,000,000% agree with that.
So what I mean by that, and I'll give you an example, is a friend of mine has a film festival, and I go to the film festival social media page, and I can see all about the events and who's there and the different movies, and I can submit my film and I can buy tickets. But what I want to know is why they created the film festival. Who are the people that put it together, and why did they put it together? That's why people will stay. They get connected to a story, your why, and your purpose.
I think the stories and the why are so big.
They are big.
And we don't pay enough attention. I'm guilty of that because you kept pushing me because I know my why, but you're like, share it, tell it, describe it to me.
Tell your story
Yeah.
because that is what will get people to stay. I can sell them something all day long, and you're right. They will come, but they get connected to the why. It's sort of like when you have a favorite TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get connected to the characters. You get connected to their arc and why and their growth and their journey. That's what people get connected to is your humanity.
And you're right. That's what keeps them coming back because, as you know, I'm not a big TV person at all.
Right.
I have one series I watch, and I'm mad at them right now because there have been 2 series and they're on hiatus, and I'm so bought into that. So you know this, Sweet Magnolias.
Sweet Magnolias.
Sweet Magnolias. And because I never watched it, and during the pandemic, my friend's like, "You got to turn on TV." So I bought a TV,
so popular right now.
and I love it. And they had a second episode, and I binged watched it an entire weekend.
I believe it.
And I'm so bought into the characters. And then they went on break.
I'm sorry.
And so now I want them back. I
I
just need
know.
to know what Coach Cal is doing.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is when
And
you
I'm
tell-
so not, that's not even something I was interested in.
Right.
But you're right. I bought into the story.
right because the
And
product.
it's not even a real story.
The product is the thing, and the story is the heart that people will get connected to. What are you seeing? Are you seeing?
I'm
comments
saying,
and
yeah,
questions?
it's Ray saying the why is the connection to stay agrees. And Lisa says it's so true because it is what makes us come back.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, with social media, I don't count likes, follows. I mean, we all count them. Let's be real. I'm not saying I don't pay attention because I do. I'd like to get mine up. So if you're not following me, give me a follow.
Who doesn't
But
want to be liked?
Exactly. But at the same time, I like the conversation more.
That's right.
And I think you're spot on.
It's
what
the
keeps
humanity.
that's what
Mhm,
keeps people coming
mhm.
back.
That's what keeps us connected.
I
Can't-
feel like we need more of that because we're
Amen.
all starving. I personally feel we are starving for connection.
Absolutely.
And I was doing an interview for a magazine last night, and I was talking about how I was posed the question is what's important to you, what matters, and I kept saying kindness.
yes.
And it was about understanding where people are and why they think the way they do, and that everybody's at a different place. And I feel like the more we hear stories, good or bad,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about complaining,
Oh,
but
yeah.
good or bad, the more we know how somebody got there,
Right.
the more connected we're in. And for me personally, the more I want to see them win. Because I'm like you.
That's exactly what I'm talking
I'm not titled the
about.
human cheerleader, but I want to see people win.
Yeah.
And when I know what they've been through and what made them who they are, it's like you rally behind them.
That's right. That's exactly why that's important, Kristen.
It is. I know.
That's right.
But it's harder. All right, so talk to me about, and talk to the audience about how you pull that out. Because I tend to be, I love words. Communication's one of my strengths on StrengthsFinder.
Yes, I've had to help keep.
She's
you more
had to help keep
concise.
me with work. And what's funny is I talk with my coaching clients all the time about bullet point sound bites,
Yes,
talking sound
yes,
bites.
uh-huh.
And I think that's critically important when you're crafting your story.
Right.
It's hard to do because I
It
can
is hard to
coach
do.
somebody all day long.
Yeah.
And every time I send you something or a post or I write something, Laura's like, cut it down, too wordy, too wordy. How do they do that?
You just have to keep, you have to keep posting consistently, first of all, to kind of figure out what your voice is. And one of my favorite statements is you always have to go, what's underneath the rug?
Yep.
People have a tendency to kind of talk about what's on the surface anyway, just in
Yes.
general in life.
Yep.
We talk about communication. It's like, okay, but what's underneath it?
Yeah.
Again, you really have to find why did you create this? Why did you start coaching people? Well, just to see people do well. This is why I started what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is because at the end of the day, all I really want is to see people do well. Well, then I need to portray that in my posts to people.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't matter what your business is, whether you're an actor, whether you're a life coach,
Yeah.
whether you create jewelry. What made you
Yeah.
start? Is it the love of holding the beads? Is
Right.
it, giving your work to somebody else and seeing their eyes light up? Those are the
Yes.
kinds of stories you need to be sharing with people. Yes.
But that's
even
so
on social
good.
media. We need to know underneath the rug
Yeah.
your true reasons for why you do what you do.
I think that'll make people more engaged because I'm like that too. I light up when people do well.
That's
I just
right.
get super excited. And
Yes.
Rob just said, in the comments, he's watching live and
Tell
said
me.
that he said his business pulled their product, or his business is pulled. I think it says pulled because I don't have my glasses on, Rob. He said they didn't realize they should be posting things that engage people, get them thinking, get them responding.
That's right.
And I think that's a good point, Rob, because frequently when I'm following people on social,
Mhm.
it's just a look at me. And that's I get tired of that. I'm like, I don't want to look at you. I like it
That's
when
why I've been encouraging
get 'em
you to
thinking,
do your
get 'em
little
questioning.
sound bites, right? We've
Yes.
talked about doing right now what is so popular across all social media platforms.
Mhm.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere are these 7 to 8 second, maybe 10-second little sound bites.
Yes.
Because again, we talked, like you just talked about, it's the connection, it's the heart connection. I want to be talked to. I want to feel like I'm with you in
And they
the
want to see you,
room.
right? They want to
Yes.
see your face.
They want to see you speaking to them.
So this is a big one, and I think for everybody listening, I'm curious if you guys are doing the quick little sound bites. Comment, let me know how they're working because this is something that we're starting to do, and I will say begrudgingly on my
Reluctantly,
end,
yes.
reluctantly on my end, and what's funny about that is I will speak, and I told you this, I will speak to 10,000 people. Not
Yes.
bad an eye.
Mhm.
I do the live stream, but for any of you guys watching
Mhm.
us live, I
Mhm.
look at you. I'm not
Mhm.
looking at the cameras.
That's right.
I hate the camera.
I'm the
Hate
same
the
way. This
camera.
is why I said I was reluctant to come on here today.
Yeah.
I can do a speaking engagement in front of hundreds of people like you and have no problem with it or qualms about it at all. But the minute this camera turns on,
Right.
all of a sudden I freeze and get nervous.
The little light is on, and I want to scream. So that's what's made me. That's why I haven't done it. I know I need to do it. I know I'm not going to be a babbling idiot, and the reason I know that is because I can retake it until I don't sound silly.
Yeah.
But we're so hesitant, I think, for most of us to just do that. I mean,
You just have
you've
to
told.
start.
Here's what. Yeah, that's what
You
happened.
just have to start. Just
I was
try.
given an assignment this week, and if you
Yes.
guys haven't figured this out, the good thing about Laura being my manager, she's probably a stronger personality than I am, so I wasn't given a choice. She just said, "Here's what I need you to do this week," and I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
So I think we've got to do it. Lisa says her too. See, we're not alone. Thank
What?
you, Lisa.
What'd she say?
Well, she just said, "LOL, me too." So
Yeah.
she's not loving the camera either.
Yeah.
But I do think that's why
Well, because
that's how we engage with people.
But again, the reason why we like talking to people face to face
Right.
is the connection, and the camera feels inanimate. But
so
the
maybe we
problem
make it. Maybe
is-
we pretend like the camera's a person.
That's-
We really visualize talking.
I was
That's
just
what
going
you're
to
about.
say. I was just
Because
going to
we
say
share a
that.
brain.
It's a
That's-
friend. It
Okay.
becomes a friend. You're talking to a friend. That's all you have to envision. Again, and my final rule, everybody, is to post consistently. Now, I'm not great about that either. If you go to my social media, I probably haven't posted in a week. I'm great at
She's
giving
great about
advice.
posting online consistently, so that helps. But
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it.
Yeah.
Again, it's easier to do for others than it is to do for ourselves.
it's true.
And
It's
again,
true.
because I really just want to see you do well, it's easy for me to pop on and know exactly what needs to be done. But when it comes to ourselves, that's always harder to practice.
It
But
is.
posting consistently is key to growing your social media following organically. I am not a bot or, I don't believe in following, buying into those companies where
Yes.
they, grow your followers and suddenly you go from, 800 to 20,000. I am more of a grow organically
Yes.
in social media type of manager, and what I mean by that is, you post daily, you post 2 to 3 stories daily, and this is for Instagram, you post 2 to 3 stories daily. You can do a reel or 2 a week. Some would say more than that, but just start with a reel or 2 a week. And then like the people that you like. So visit their pages, heart their posts,
Yep.
go comment on what they're doing, root for other people and cheer for them. That will also organically grow you. And whether we like it or not, this is one of those both and moments
Mhm.
of where we unfortunately have to play the game, which feels inauthentic, but it's not. And we can also be authentic with our voice and our message on social media. So we can, play the game a little bit by doing these things to organically grow ourselves
Right.
while also cheering other people on.
And I think that's the engagement is what's key. And it takes a lot of
Yes.
times. And Rob commented that he had created a platform. He has several businesses. He created a technology platform that posts automatically to social for clients and stuff like that. And so let's talk about that because there are a lot of platforms out there.
Right.
And I know you use some that post automatically.
Yes.
And I in the history, and I won't say in the history, in my past, I didn't use them a lot because I think if you use those, you have to pay. They're good. They are time savers for sure.
And which ones are we talking about?
Any of them. I don't care. Any of the ones that like a Hootsuite that post automatically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I think
They're
you've got to,
helpful.
they are helpful, but I think you have to remember and pay attention because I've also seen automatic posts go out and there be a national event that happens
Oh,
that
yeah. It's
you've
going to get
you-
lost.
well, it's not even that. It's like, isn't today a great day and we should all be blessed and a country was just bombed. I mean, I think you've got to
Understood.
really pay attention.
You do.
And I'm
Yep.
sure that's the exception rather than the rule. But I think, excuse me, it does automate things and it does make it easier for things to do because I'm assuming a lot of people watching, they don't have somebody managing their social. They aren't
Right.
able to hire somebody. So it's, it's a one-stop shop. They're running the office, they're running the staff, they're running the
Yeah.
kitchen, and they're posting.
Well, again,
It's a
with,
lot.
with anything, it's a great tool, but you do have to manage it. I mean, you can't, and what we're talking about just is, those content managers
Right.
that schedule posts for you. There's a number of them out there. Hootsuite is one that I have used in the past. You can literally sit down one day and schedule your posts
Everything.
and your stories across all of your social media platforms and then not have to think about it for a week. But again, with anything, you can't be completely hands off. You do.
You
need
can't.
To pay
Well, that's it.
attention.
Yeah, and he just followed it. Rob just said if you're not posting at least twice a day, you're losing out to competition, and it's true. So that's
true.
where those platforms come in. But he had a good point too. He said, trivia, humor, motivation,
Yes.
inspirational. It doesn't always have to be this deep. I'm a quote junkie. Like I am a quote junkie. My last book, like both my books actually, every chapter started with a quote. Post quotes, do
That's
humor,
right.
trivia, ask a question. Those are
Yes.
all great things. I have a lot of my private coaching clients that when I'm consulting with them on business strategy, they hate social. I'm like, you're overthinking it. Like
You
you're
are
overthinking it.
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be deep. It doesn't always have to
Right.
be direct. It doesn't always have to be. So some ideas for content is, a photo of your workspace and what you love about it, or what inspires you. Maybe post about another business. I mean, that's not going to kill you either. Cheering somebody else on.
I love posting
is-
about other businesses.
Exactly. Is always a great idea.
If there's a local business that's a wine shop that would like my girlfriends and I to come for an evening so I can post a girlfriend wine dinner, let me know. Drop your
Or-
name in the comments.
Right. Or one of your favorite motivational quotes, or
Mhm.
share a fun fact about you that your followers may not know. One of the posts that I like to do regularly is an about me post. And not about me, but about
She likes to do them about me.
yes,
what it
I like
is.
to do about
She
her.
gets to pick the
or
trivia.
my other clients, and about me, because maybe there's new followers that have come on,
Yep.
old followers, because sometimes it's a roller
Yeah.
coaster. Old followers drop off, new followers come.
I still
and
think
it may
that's
be
good.
A while.
Every time I read somebody, there's several people I follow that do that routinely.
Right.
And I love it because every time they do it a little bit different and they post something
That's
I didn't
the
already
key.
know.
You don't want to say the same things you said the last time when
Yep.
you do an about me post. You want to.
Oh,
post
we
some
should do one soon. I'm sure you
new-
have this somewhere in
yes,
your list.
Some new facts.
I love that.
Or to do like a quick tip, like for you, Kristen, as a
Mhm.
coach, you could post a quick tip, like a Friday
Yes.
tip. You could every Friday have a tip day, and that's what you'd post on every Friday. You
Yep.
could have the nice thing about branding is you could have a pattern to
Yes.
your posts.
I know we do
which
that.
I've
You're very
started to-
big on
Started
patterns.
to create that for you
Yes.
because it becomes consistent. You don't have to guess. It's easier for you as the owner of the social media, and your followers come to know what to expect from you, and they know when it's coming.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I love is because your followers will engage. And I'm giggling here for you guys watching live because we have a lot of people watching and commenting. And Ray, my man, coming through.
tell me.
I work with a wine shop that many of our mutual friends know about.
Yes,
See,
Ray.
Ray, We knew we could count on you.
Yay.
So I love that. But this is what, this is social media. We're live. I mean, obviously the
Yes.
podcast is recorded and it's heard
That's
on
right.
different things. But the fun part about doing it live
Yeah.
is we can have people comment in real time
Right.
and engage in real
That's
time.
right.
And that's the
And
beauty.
we may not be together, but we really are.
That's right. Right. Ray is right
Right?
here with us,
That's right,
supporting
Ray.
my desire to have a wine night
I love
on
it.
social media.
There you go.
But I think that's the whole point of it, is the conversation. And I feel
Mhm.
like so much with social, especially when it comes to business,
Mhm.
that we've lost the conversation. We've made it
Yes.
about advertising. And I personally, I will tune out if you're trying to sell me or pitch me something all day long. It
Yes.
just,
I
tune
want to
out.
know how your product is going to change my life.
Right.
Or make it better in some way.
Right.
I don't just want to see constant photos of your product.
Right.
I want to know why I want it. That's the first question that should be answered when I go to your social media. It's the same as with a website.
Yeah.
Like the first three, what are the first three questions that should be answered when someone hits a website? Do you remember?
What do you do? Who do you do it for? And why do you do it?
Right.
I got them in the wrong
Who
order.
you are,
This is why she edited my content on my website.
who you are,
Yes.
what you do,
Yes.
and why they want what you do.
Oh, why they want. See, I was so close. So close.
And those are the same pretty much for social media. They should be able to answer those questions when they see your whole, social media message. It should flow. They should know who you are, what you do, and why they want what you do.
And the only word I would add to that is concisely. Because
Precisely. True.
when we did this, when we did our content, and when Laura came on board, she and I started working together as she does for all her clients. She made me focus a lot. And what's
Right.
funny is I'm a strategist, so I'm so friggin' focused all the time.
You are.
But you lose sight of, like, there's so many moving parts and
well,
there's so many things
Again,
in
when
your
you're
head.
on top of it and it's yours,
Yep.
it's harder to see.
And you just want to say all the things. And so that was one of the things you did, is like pare it
Right.
down, pare it down, pare it down.
Yes.
And it helps to be concise because, as you know, I frequently tell people, speak in sound bites, make it relatable, make it
Right.
repeatable.
Mhm.
And that's what people are going to
Mhm.
start to follow.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions out there?
yeah, no questions. Let's see. Rob saying TV network like to create it in a way there's conversation like this.
Yeah.
It's so true because people are craving conversation. And I mean, I know we're located in Georgia, so we're out and about. Most people here
Yes.
are, but there are a lot of other places, especially after the last 2 years, where people are just still. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm astounded by the number of people that are still not leaving their homes and sitting at home. People, you're right, Rob. People want conversation, and you can have conversation on social.
You
The two of
can.
us are sitting here in a room, and everybody commenting, is from all over the place,
Yeah.
and it's like we're engaged in dialogue, engaged in
That's
conversation.
right. Well, another great way to do that, again, on my favorite platform, which is Instagram, is to post a story
Yep.
and ask, here's a great idea.
Yeah.
Post a story today. Here, we're going to send this out as a challenge to everybody listening. If you have an Instagram account, post a story today, say hi to your followers, and then ask them a question, and then include like a poll or a space where they can ask you a question.
Yeah,
And then you can engage with your followers that way, and they love that.
we've done that in the past, and it's fun.
It
It's
is
kind of, I
fun.
like to see what questions come up and
That's
what.
right.
And I know a lot of local radio hosts and TV hosts
Mhm.
will do that, and it's fun to watch. I like watching their
It is
questions
fun.
too.
Yeah, because then if you're smart,
Yeah.
you'll go back and you'll post what people asked, and
Right.
then you'll answer the question in a video.
And it's a good
really
way
fun.
to create dialogue. Our friend
Mhm.
Bert from the Bert Show here is a radio host. They're syndicated. He does it frequently, and I always like to watch what people ask. And they'll ask a question. They're like, "What question do you have for me?" And then I have a
Mhm.
friend, Jessica, that does the same thing, and my
Mhm.
friend Chelsea. They do a lot of social media, so they'll get a ton of responses, and it's just fun.
It is
It's fun,
Again,
not just to see their answers, but it's fun to see what questions people have. Because
that's
sometimes
right.
I'm like, I wonder what made them ask that. It
Well,
just helps
again,
you get to know people better.
because we're not going into a storefront as often as we used to.
Right.
It's global now. You're not just competing with the store down the street. You're competing with the guy in California.
Right.
So the way to connect with your shoppers,
Yes.
so to speak, is, or your clients, is to engage with them through
Right.
this platform. That's the only way to do it anymore, unfortunately, unless you have, a retail storefront, then you can actually see people coming and going. But
Well, and I think you could do it even if you had a retail storefront. You can go live all the time if
oh,
you had a
sure.
retail
Oh, I
storefront.
used to all the time.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah.
you have, I mean, you've owned a
I
physical
I
location
did.
business in the
Yeah, I
past.
did. And that's
It's,
how I grew my following, was
yeah,
just organically,
yeah,
just by connecting with them over and over and over and over and over again, and showing them what I was doing that day and the display I was doing,
yeah,
and, stories about our store, and,
right.
the trials and tribulations of opening a store and what that was like. I
Yep.
mean, I brought them into the whole journey. That's how you do it.
So let's talk a little bit about, kind of expand on that a little bit. Getting, opening not just physical locations,
Uh-huh.
but when you have a store, a business, or whatever,
Hmm.
and you want to grow it organically, you want people to do that. What's the best, quickest, most efficient way? Because all of us, we want it organic, we want people, but we want people paying attention. Like we want it, I want engagement,
Uh-huh.
but at the end of the day, I want more than 5 followers. So
Sure.
how do you do both?
Well, again, you have to post consistently,
Yep.
right? On whatever social media platform you're on. You have to be clear about your voice. You have to like other people's businesses. And what I mean by that is that little heart symbol on
Yep.
Instagram. You
Yep.
have to visit them, you have to follow them, you have to consistently like their posts.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do for you almost 45 minutes a day.
Right.
I will literally just go like people she likes. I will go and put comments on their posts. And
Yep.
it's not fake, it's
They're
genuine,
genuine comments. Yeah.
And you do have to be careful because the algorithm will continually feed you who
Right.
you regularly comment on. That's
So
the
let's
other thing as
right.
well.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because the algorithms love engagement.
Yes.
They do. And so
Yeah.
I know. So if you guys have somebody following your social, if you're doing your own,
Mhm.
you've got to understand that so much of it is not posting. Like you get on there and comment and like
Right.
and and do all
Yes.
that stuff for 45 minutes
Yes.
before you even post anything.
Correct.
And
Yep.
that's the part I think a lot of people don't realize. They're like, I posted, but it's like, get on there first. I know the
It
algorithms
takes
work.
time.
You engage with them first, and then you post,
Yep.
and then
It takes time because these apps are businesses. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them are businesses. So the more clicks you give them, right, they want you using their platforms.
Right.
So you have to use it in all the ways that they've created for you to use them. So you
Right.
can't just put a post up
yes,
and hope that you're going to grow.
yes,
They want you to post. They want you to like. They want you to comment. They want you to do 2 to 3 stories a day. They want you
Yeah.
to do reels now, and they're willing to pay you for those now. You can make money
Yes.
on Instagram if you're posting reels regularly. They want you using their
they're
platform.
they're rewarding creators,
Correct.
because you
That's
can
how
have
the
creators or business
algorithm
accounts.
works.
Mhm.
So the more you're using it, the more they will show you
Right.
to the businesses or the people that you're
Your
trying
target
to
market.
connect with. Yes.
And I'm big on engaging with target market, and I love that now because several of my friends in my study group and that we have business accounts, creator
Yes.
accounts
Uh-huh.
that you can monetize. That's
right.
another y'all. I'm all about multiple streams of revenue
That's
and
right.
side hustles. You guys know this. Anybody that's worked with me before
Yeah.
knows that there
Mhm.
is not just one way to make money. So I think that's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
And it's kind of it's helping you. You help me, I'll help you.
That's
Type
well,
of
that's
thing.
exactly what it is.
Right.
And that's exactly what
Well,
it is.
and I think it gives everyone an opportunity to kind of do some cool stuff too.
Yeah.
I do think you've got to let's talk for a minute about, because you mentioned this earlier. You've got to be careful what you like and click on, because it's going to show you more of that.
That's right.
My feed is sunshine and rainbows on most platforms, because I truly only engage with positive stuff. I don't
Right.
like the bad clickbait. I don't do the
Right.
negative stuff on Facebook, especially. I will unfollow you in 2 seconds flat if you get all tippy. Twitter, I personally don't use as much. I'm starting to, because
have
Laura's
to be.
making me tweet more.
Yes.
Those are actually mine, because I'm like, she's like, just whatever you're thinking. I'm like, that could be a
that
slippery
could be
slope
dangerous.
there.
Yes.
But what's interesting is this just happened yesterday. I had liked, there were tweets, and I had liked a tweet, and I think
have to be careful
I
these
read the
days.
first portion of the tweet, and you know how sometimes if you don't see the whole thing, one of my friends who's in California texts me and says, "Hey," with a screenshot, said, "Hey, this just popped up that you like this tweet. Take a peek at it. If that was real, cool.
Right.
But I don't know that it matches your brand."
This is the social media danger.
Right.
Now.
And this is fun. Now, this is a friend of mine. This is a girlfriend I have known since college.
Great.
But the
I'm glad she
algorithm,
pointed you-
the
yeah.
algorithm showed her the tweet that I had liked. She wasn't following this
Right.
person. I wasn't following this person, but it showed the tweet that I liked. And I went back and I
Yes.
was like, oh, and I texted her back. I said, "Thank you so much for letting me know."
Yeah.
But, you know, and I went unlike the tweet because honestly, not even in my defense, in my stupidity, I gave it a like because the first sentence of it was fantastic. And then when I read the rest of it, I was like, oh, he's off the chain. I mean, he was wackadoodle. And
well, and that's the thing about
that,
social
but
media.
that it made it look like I followed this person. And thank God, my friend Pam, thank God Pam texted me.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, I just want you to know this. I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah. So you've got to be really careful.
You have to read.
You have to read. I know.
And
right?
But that goes to show how quick people are moving through social.
Yes. Oh yeah.
People are just glancing.
I have the
at
attention
the first,
span of a gnat.
Yes,
I'm moving through
everybody
really
does
quick
today,
yeah.
And that's why what you post matters, and what you comment and like matters.
It
also
does
because it's out there in permanence, and you don't know who's seeing it.
I unliked it. I went back and read the whole thing
today.
And I unliked it. But it's true because she is a friend, and she was like, you know, that was her text to me was like, "I don't think it matches your brand. If you believe it, totally cool.
What a great friend.
But I don't." And it was, and I didn't.
Great friend.
And I think it caused me pause. I'm like, how many times have I liked something that either I didn't read fully? I mean, when I like stuff, it's usually I do. But this was, when I went back and read it, there was part of it I did not see in the original tweet. I only saw the first sentence. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I know.
And it was somebody, I think it was a friend had liked, because it wasn't somebody I was following, like a friend had liked it. It's a slippery these algorithms are little boogers. Yes, but it goes back to that Social Dilemma movie that I watched years ago that freaked me the heck out.
Seen that.
Oh gosh, it'll freak you out. Because the algorithms they feed us more of what we want, which honestly, I've said this before. I think social media can be a wonderful platform as we're talking about for business. I also think it is creating a greater divide in our country, and we'll touch on this real quick as we wrap, because we had this week. We had this week at the Oscars with Will Smith and Chris Rock, and I was watching. I had it on the background, and then I happened to see it, and then I was like, because there was a pause, and I was like, why is he walking up there? And then the sound went out. I was like, what the heck? So I did like all good investigative journalists would do, and I went to Twitter to figure out what was going on. And my tweets were like, seriously, what happened? I mean, but what was interesting, the next day, it divided. Not even the next day, that night, it divided. Like, I have friends all over, and I won't even say there are two camps. There are about 14 camps of opinions in this. And
Twitter is big on that.
Twitter's really big on this. And whatever you click, I was clicking on all. I was not clicking on, but reading them all. Yep. I made sure not to give a heart to any of them because I was scared.
Good, yeah, be careful.
But I think
you have to be careful.
You have to be careful. But the thing is, I sat there and read a lot and listened, and I understood why. I'm sitting there going, I could see why you feel that way.
Sure.
I could see you. I could see how I could see why he did what he did.
Yep.
I can see why they reacted. I can see why everybody responded. You told me how you felt about it yesterday.
Yes.
I didn't feel the same way, but it's like we all come from different places.
That's right.
And it's the beauty of social media and that we can come from different places, but the danger of it is it can create a greater divide. So if we do, like, we're talking about, and like Rob and Ray who are talking about, commenting and asking questions and learning more and getting feedback and refining your message.
That's the difference.
That's the beauty of it.
That's the difference between,
me and the crazy people.
Like Twitter and me, basically. Twitter is like me and my pitchfork and my ego, and we are certain about our opinion. And I feel like social media can be a chance for us to offset all of that and heart connect. And that's why I am constantly trying to draw you and my other clients back to the why.
She's making me
Why
connect to my
do you
heart.
That's right, because that's
Yes.
really what we need more of, which is what we started this conversation on.
And I think that's the key point is heart connected. I think if we could all remember heart connected, and for those of you guys who have been listening to the Renew podcast for quite some time now, you will know my heart chakra is the one that we've been worried about for a while. It's doing better. It's open
Yay!
now. My therapist and people feel we're doing really well.
Wonderful.
But you're right. It is if we could all start to use this and heart connect
in a positive way
with
we can
our
change-
prospective clients,
we can
our
change
people,
the world.
we
can
totally can.
offset,
We can change the world.
we can offset all of that negativity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think it's true, and
It
we
is
had
a chance for that.
it's a chance for that, and we had Rob. I want to hit this as we close. Rob said the biggest issue is so many people tell you that you're wrong for your opinion.
That's right.
Opinions can't be wrong; they're only opinions.
It's just an opinion.
It's
and
an opinion.
everybody has one.
Everybody has one. So it's offer kindness. Let's use social. If you don't agree with somebody's opinion, you don't. I am giving you permission right now not to comment on it. You
Yeah.
do not have to tell them
and
they're
again,
wrong.
let's go back to the voice
Mm-hmm.
definition. This is
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. How do you want people to feel when they visit your social media?
Right.
This
Right.
is what I'm talking about. This is the voice that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, how do you want them to feel when they come to your place?
I think that's key. For me, me personally,
Yeah.
I want people to feel
Like you're cheering them
encouraged,
on.
loved,
Mhm.
supported,
That's right.
challenged in a
Right.
good way. Like I will
Yes.
challenge you to grow.
Right.
I'm not going to challenge your opinion because it's your opinion.
Right.
But I think this has been so good because I love the way you said heart connect. And Dan just comments about heart connect. I know Dan does a lot of social as well. It's the more we can connect with people
At that level.
level,
That's right.
this is where things start to change. But this is also where, since we're talking about business, this is where, one of my favorite sayings, you know what I'm going to say,
Go for it.
know your people,
That's right.
find your people, love them hard.
Amen.
So if you can do that, you know your people, you know your
With your
audience, you
social
know the
media.
people that want what
Mhm.
you do and what you offer. You
Mhm.
find them. You figure out what platforms they're on.
That's
what they're
right.
doing,
And
you
then love them.
love them.
There
Love
you
them
go.
hard. I love it. You are like a wealth of knowledge.
I
See,
am
now y'all see why. She does an excellent job.
I just
And
want all of us
I'm
to do
probably her
well.
hardest client. I feel like the celebrities you work with are probably easier to manage than
Well,
me.
they're different. It's just different. That's what I like. I like having an array of
The
clients.
variety.
Yes.
The variety. I'm the sassiest though, for sure. Well, Laura, thank you for being here.
Thank
We are going to pull her
you.
back in for sure,
Oh,
kicking
of
and
course you
screaming,
are.
but we will get more. We will get more knowledge out of her. But thank you so much for the
Thank you
message
for
and the
having me.
heart connection.
That's right.
Those of you guys listening, we hope you take this advice. Drop in the comments your thoughts. Let us know. And honestly, since we're talking about connecting on social, if you're listening on any of our platforms, come on, join us. Make sure you give us a follow and drop your social handles in the comments so we can connect with you as well. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for our audience that was watching live. And we will see you again next week for another episode of Renew.
Yay.